everything that's going to happen with what they've got in the Talandre thing. We'll see what's up with that. The boss looks freaking nice. I will say that. No, I'm not meaning to give any spoilers away, but the boss looks pretty fucking. One of the bosses that I saw anyway looked really fucking nice. All right, let's begin this.
Hey everyone, welcome to our Wilds of Talandre special. I'm Godspeed, and with me today is Tico. And we're absolutely thrilled to finally share everything about the massive expansion with you.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a really busy few months for us, but this is finally the best part when we get to talk about it with our players, we get to share so much information, so I'm really excited to get into that with you all today.
Yep. Finally, no more keeping secrets. I've been bursting to talk about this expansion for months now.
Yeah, me too. And it'll be nice just to talk a little bit more casually today, talk as a player, as a fan. I'm really giddy about some of the changes that are coming, so I can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, well, before we jump in, here is what everyone watching at home can expect today. We're going to talk about the stunning new Talandre territory, fearsome arc bosses, the new tier 2 gear, and those challenging 3-star dungeons that will test even our most hardcore players. But that is just the beginning. We're also diving deep into the revamped weapon mastery system, the exciting new danger zone that is Nebula Island, and the incredible artifact system that will change how you build your character.
Yeah, we might spend a little bit of time on some of those upcoming combat changes as well. Plus, we have some other stuff in store that we didn't mention yet, so make sure you stick around the whole show.
Yay! So grab your drinks, get comfortable, and join us for everything you need to know about the Wilds of Talandre. Why don't we start with our territory, Talandre. So this is our third territory on Silesium, right? After Last Line and Stoneguard, now we have Talandre. I heard that there is a bunch of scary beasts living around. There are some bosses, of course, Beast Dungeon, etc. Like last. Thing you need to know about the Wilds of Talandre.
Yeah, I went back to
Bosses, of course, Beast Dungeon.
No, go back. I want to see the fucking
yeah,
Talandre. So this is our third territory on Silesium, right? After Last Line and Stoneguard, now we have.
That's not the right. Oh well.
Talandre. I heard that there is a bunch of scary beasts living around. There are some bosses, of course, Beast Dungeon, etc. Like last week, I was on our QA server and just exploring around, right? And I was shocked how massive the zone was. Like, can we talk about the size of this territory?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's basically doubling our existing map size, so it's a huge new territory.
All right, that is super big.
Yeah, and it has 6 zones in it, you know, and so...
6 zones? But how much do we have? Like 4 zones, maybe? No, we only had maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4.
That's pretty exciting, and I think also what's really nice is each one of those zones is going to have its own story that goes along with it. So everybody that's been enjoying the story up till now will get a little bit of more of that. I think there'll be some interesting nuggets in there.
Oh, I have a question since you're talking about the story. So in the last, I believe, the last Adventure Codex, we lost Clay. Like, where is he, guys? Like, are we going to learn more about his whereabouts?
That's what I want to see, fucking, because I really didn't like that fucking that they kind of left it like that. I was hoping more for, because I kind of liked Clay. Clay was fucking badass, even for a fucking wizard. Like, I can't wait to see what they what they do with that stuff, because I'd love to I can't speak today. I'd love to learn what they did with or what how they're gonna play out Clay's story, because I know that honestly, as a someone who looks into can somewhat predict things like that. I think there's only like three outcomes. You can either end up being you know, captured, locked in a dungeon somewhere, and there's going to be like a quest to save him, or there's also going to be uh there could be the they could completely kill him off or whatnot, and then he ends up being a badass and he fucking end up killing Bird. That's my theory on it anyway.
Not
just Clay, but what about Lunar Zero?
Oh my god, okay, I forgot about it. But yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, that would take
all I can say is maybe there's going to be a family member of Clay that you'll talk to, and we'll see what happens from there.
All right. Can we talk about Abyss Dungeons? Because that's something I usually like to play on.
Yeah. No, this is great. So there's going to be 3 new Abyss Dungeons in Talandre. They'll be pretty big as well. I think the biggest one, Crimson Mansion, the only one that's bigger than that is going to be Silius Abyss, which of course is 6 floors. So this one will be 4 floors, will be huge. So there'll be a lot of space for players to get in there. Really excited about that. They'll come out kind of with the milestone system as well, like they did when we first had our launch for Stoneguard and Lazlan. So it'll be a similar process. But this time we will have 2 of the dungeons come out at the same time. So we hope that will kind of help spread players out a little bit and make the farming a little bit better. But yeah, we're pretty excited about the Abyss Dungeons. And these will probably be a little bit more of a challenge. So it'll be nice when you're there with your party, you get to work together a little bit more. So that part will be good about them too.
Okay, that is exciting. Okay.
So, does anyone think how they're going to do that? Because I think the dungeons are pretty challenging by themselves already. Like, anybody have any thoughts around them making it more of a need to have a party in there or whatnot? Because I mean, it would be kind of nice to be able to go through it, if need be, solo. Nobody's on or whatnot. Fucking, getting in there and like being able to solo would be kind of decent, but it is like, I don't know. I like the idea of it going more challenging, but I also kind of like the idea of being maybe having a choice to like where you could sing it down lower a little bit so you can like solo it if you don't have anyone to like go into the dungeon with, for those people that are playing mostly solo.
What about the arc bosses? Because I've seen some like arc boss designs, and I know I love one of the arc bosses with the, I don't know, I call it Ice Mommy.
This is that boss. This is that fucking boss.
Talk about that?
This looks fucking
nice.
Noah.
She's pretty interesting. The ice part is pretty good. I think if you have ever had one of those irrational fears of walking under an ice pick and getting impaled, probably don't show up to this boss. So I'm not saying I have that fear. I'm saying some people
you don't have that.
Yeah,
all right.
That could be
it's a really great and interesting boss fight, and something that I really like about the bosses is I just love the weapon visualizations that come out of them. I just think the spear.
Look at that. I don't know if that's the spear he's talking about, or the fucking or a staff, but like, I'm not using either or, but it kind of makes me want to start using one.
The staff, the sword, those are all my favorites that come from, especially Deluz Noah. So I'm really excited about seeing those. I don't know if I'll be able to get one of them.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get lucky.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
Okay, so since we're talking about the arc boss weapon, so on QA server, I literally summoned Giant Cordy's great sword.
That one, oh my god. I want that. That looks fucking badass. Look at the freaking artwork on it. It's fucking the way the fucking is that supposed to be like a dragon's mouth or like demon's mouth wraps around the fucking blade and shit? Oh, that looks so fucking pretty. Smoke.
And oh my goodness, the visual, it's fantastic. Like, I wish I get that one on live server when it goes live.
The purple in it is pretty nice, and we renamed it to the Warblade of Creeping Doom, so it has that kind of awesome name to go with it now as well.
So good.
That's pretty exciting. I would agree. If you have that on, I'll definitely be jealous, but I know you won't, so it's fine.
Oh, excuse me. All right. I wasn't expect that attack. Since we were talking about art bosses, I do want to mention the terrain around the giant Cordy spawn area, because I was watching some of the Korean servers.
That I like that. Oh my god, I can't wait to come across this boss. This looks like a fucking fun boss fight right here. I always loved fucking like forest like tree ant bosses, like the one they had in Dark Souls. It was fucking tough as fuck to fight, but fucking boy was it fucking fun.
VOD, the PvP VOD that I enjoy, and it was so interesting because the terrain is designed to have a lot of hills.
This like fucking mushroom on top of his fucking head that, oh, it looks so fucking sick.
Like narrow passages, so players can't really group up together the whole time. Instead, they have to like break into small parties, like maybe a party or two, and they have to constantly either dash or glide morph around to reposition themselves or regroup at the strategic location for their next push. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty interesting fight. And you know, something that goes with arc bosses is always the kind of gatekeeping. You always have the people fighting the boss, you have others that are trying to keep people from getting in. And I think the territory, both for Giant Cordy and for Deluxe Noah, is really pretty interesting in terms of how you need to actually get into the area where you're fighting the boss. So yeah, I think you said it right. There's going to be a lot of new strategies, interesting stuff that comes from the arc bosses. So I think all of our PvP guilds, all of those you know, kind of alliances that are going to be duking it out, I think are going to have a lot of fun trying to strategize, and maybe that coordination is going to have to go up a notch here to be successful.
All right, so we just talked about art bosses, Abyss Dungeons, and Talandre. Well, I'm now wondering, like, would I need new set of gear, etc.? Because
yes, you're going to need a new set of gear. Like, did you not like see what you were talking about a second ago? You're gonna need a lot more gear.
I know that tier 2 gear is coming, but here's the question: before we get into tier 2 gear and all this stuff, like, I've been playing the game, right? And I got all the tier 1 to heroic. They're all traded, right? But do I really need to grind more and again for tier 2?
Yeah, well,
it's an MMO.
You play Greatsword, right?
Yeah.
So, do you want Guillotine to hit for 30K or 50 or 80?
Always, yeah. Well, that's a yes.
Sounds like you need tier 2 gear then.
Okay, I'm convinced.
You're definitely going to need it to be able to compete with the stuff that's in Talandre. You're definitely going to need the tier 2 gear. It's going to increase your overall combat power, of course, the damage you do, but also your defenses, which is going to be really important for the upcoming 3-star dungeons, all the stuff that's in Talandre, Abyss Dungeons, Arc bosses, etc. So I definitely think players will need to transition to tier 2 gear. But we're trying to help with that a little bit. So we're introducing a new blue tier or rare tier of tier 2 gear. So that will help returning players and new players kind of have that middle ground, if you will, between the tier 1 purples and the tier 2 gear. So I think that will be something that really helps players progress into that tier 2 section.
Okay, I have a quick question. So rare tier 2 gear, you say?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, where do I get those?
Yeah, so You'll be able to get it just from open world farming, just like you do, or in the Abyss Dungeon, just like you do with Tier 1 blue gear. But a lot of players will also get it through the Adventure Codex along the way. So just by doing your natural leveling journey, getting to that new level cap that we have in Talandre, the level 55 level cap, as you're getting up to there, you're going to get some starter Tier 2 gear. So blue gear and purple gear mix. And that's why I really think it's a good time for anyone that's taking a break or is trying to get one of their friends to jump back in with them. It's a really good time to start because we're at this kind of natural reset point, and everybody's going to have this starter set when they get through the Adventure Codex.
Okay, that sounds wonderful because, I mean, everyone, it's a secret, but I've been taking break from live games, and he knows. So that's amazing.
Yeah, no, it should be good, and I'm also like really excited about Tier 2 gear because a lot of what's been added to the game over time is really built on.
Is that leather that he's wearing? Hey, that actually looks pretty fucking cool for leather armor.
Off of Tier 2 gear. I think it's really going to open up everybody's play styles. You're going to feel like your class takes another jump forward in terms of how it feels. It's almost one of those things when you first start leveling and then you go back, you get fully geared, you go all the way back to the beginning and you realize, wow, you know, what a difference all of my gear makes and my weapon mastery and all of that. And I think you're going to experience another one of those jumps with Tier 2 gear and how just fluid the class plays.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, you briefly mentioned weapon mastery.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tier 2, everything all sounds good, right? But I've been also grinding, well, I would say no lifing on live to max level all my mastery.
Please.
So what's good? Come on. Okay.
No lifing? No grinding, maybe.
Oh, okay, relax, dude, relax. So what's gonna happen to my mastery that I have right now?
Yeah, so the mastery that you have now will convert into the new weapon mastery system. So you don't need to worry about anything. You're just going to log in. It's going to be automatically converted for you. And then you just keep on leveling as normal. So the only real changes are going to be the system itself, the types of points. There's a small change to the.
This looks like it might get a little confusing right here. It looks like they're going to be doing like a whole talent system. Actually, now I'm looking at it, it looks like it might be a little bit easier to navigate. Like at first glance, it looks like it'd be confusing, but once you like actually stare at it for a second, it actually seems pretty straightforward. There's going to be a lot more flexible meta with the new system. Oh yeah, yeah. This looks fucking. Actually, I like this. This looks. I can't wait to fucking hop back in. Once they're done in 15 hours is what the expected time was. But yeah, this looks freaking nice. Like I think it's a lot better than the. Is this specifications or is this actual skills? Oh, this is the weapon mat. Oh. Oh, so this is the gonna be the new mastery system. Okay. Okay.
The items you don't get training due anymore. You're gonna get weapon mastery seal. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later in the show.
I was worried that
there won't be a huge change. It will just kind of convert on its own. There's not too much that you really need to worry about with that. So yeah, and I want to just kind of reference a little bit with Tier 2 gear as well, that like when you're grinding, when you're playing up, one of the things we've done is we've changed how to acquire that gear. So, you know, previously it maybe a little bit felt like you had to do very specific types of content in order to get your gear.
Right.
And we're really trying to expand that now. We're trying to add more flexibility for players. we're trying to make it so that you can have more autonomy over what type of content you do. So that's part of what we're bringing in with Tier 2 gear, new weekly missions, and our new consolidated token system.
Okay, tell me more.
Yeah, well, you remember in the existing content, we have dimensional soul shards, you have one for every single dungeon, you have the abyss coins for the Tier 1 abyss dungeon. So all of those tokens now will just get shrunk down to one token. So we'll have one token for Tier 1 and one token for Tier 2. And that token basically can still be used the same way. You use it to craft your gear, you go to the vendor, you can craft your gear with it. But what it's really done is given us more flexibility on how we distribute that token. So you'll still get it from the things you're doing now, co-op dungeons, abyss dungeon contracts, but you'll also get it from our weekly mission. And that's something that's been revamped as well. And the weekly mission will now reward these gear tokens. And that's great because in the weekly mission, you really get to choose more of what type of content you're doing. So this is just part of our effort right now. We're gonna do more over time to really try to give players more flexibility on
Okay, so I guess instead of the boring way to collect the fucking weekly rewards, they're gonna update that. That's in a lot more easy fashion where you can scroll through and actually read them a lot clearer. I like that.
what content they're doing to progress their overall gear.
Okay, that's interesting. Can we quickly go back to weapon mastery because I just have one question related to that. So, like, how am I going to increase the new weapon mastery? Like, am I still getting the training due item or what's happening?
Yeah, so no more training due. You just have this new weapon mastery seal, basically. But what's important is you don't really have to worry about using it. There's no more 24-hour timer. I know some people haven't been big fans of that 24-hour timer. So basically, it will get collected. You'll be able to see that in the weapon mastery UI. So as you earn experience for weapon mastery, it'll just kind of be collected. And then you can distribute it to any weapon that you want. So you don't have to be wearing the weapon anymore. You can just kind of distribute it to whatever weapon that you want within the UI directly. So there should be a lot more flexibility and freedom for our players that way.
Okay. I also have a question about some of the categories. I think that's what they're called in the revamped weapon mastery now. Can we talk more about this?
Yeah. I mean, the overall new weapon mastery, you can think of it as a circle that's divided into kind of 4 quadrants, and you have attack, defense, support, and tactics quadrants. So players will be able to choose a path from there, and that's going to help dictate their play.
Honestly, I think that'll freaking make that a lot simpler. You have like a quarter that you can quarter of just your tactic skills, and then your defensive skills, melee, and then your magic or whatever. That makes things a hell of a lot simple. That's fucking
play style. Tons of new builds, I think, are going to come out of that. And I think we're going to see completely different meta, hopefully, when we get into Tier 2. And I think the other part that's pretty exciting is for our more support style players, like tanks and healers. They're going to have more DPS options here. So they should feel a bit more empowered when they're doing
more DPS options. Yeah, I need that. I kind of needed that. I think a lot of my attacks are too slow and shit for the tank. You're gonna want to min-max it from what we've seen to be strong in one way at the very least. Right.
Doing solo content to really compete and be able to do some stuff that maybe they didn't feel as strong in before.
Oh, that's great news. All right, so if I'm understanding it correctly, I can assign whatever experience I gain for the new weapon mastery system into whatever weapon, right? But how long is it going to take me to get to the max level?
Yeah, well, I would say it's less about how long it takes to the max level because it is a lot. Each weapon is going to have 200 levels now, and that will take a really long time to get to, but there's lots of milestones along the way for really players to chase after, and that's something that I really like about.
Wait, what was the weapon level cap before? Does anyone know?
No, grow up. Damn it. You're too big to be doing that.
9, I think. Okay. So we're going from like a maximum of 9 purple to like a 200 purple. That's Jesus fucking Christ.
About it. I like that you're kind of consistently making progress and hitting milestones. So, for example, your first epic node will unlock at level 80. So that's a milestone that you can look forward to as a player. There are other shared level passives, let's say. So your overall weapon mastery level is going to be the sum of all of your weapons. And that shared level will unlock different passive slots for you that you can also explore and experiment with. So there's going to be a lot of reasons to decide, do I just level up my main weapon? Do I level up my 2 main weapons? What about a third one? Maybe you're trying to be strategic about unlocking some of those passives. So I think we're going to see players really take lots of different approaches to how to level up their weapon mastery. And I think that's also just part of the overall increase in progression that players are going to see with this expansion. Like in Tier 2 gear, we mentioned that you're going to have to grind out your new gear. Well, you're going to be able to go up to plus 12 for that now. So instead of plus 9, you'll go to plus 12.
Oh, okay.
And so there'll be a little bit longer lead time for that as well. And what's interesting is, as players, I think we really like having multiple progression paths, lots of different things that are increasing our power, but sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. So that's why we're increasing a new system that will allow you to sync gear. So you have like syncing gear levels to make it a little bit easier to play alternate specs and stuff.
Can you tell me more about this? Because I never heard about this equipment syncing system.
Yeah.
Is it a thing?
Yeah, so one of the things that we think is really great about Throne and Liberty is all the different playstyles you can have. You can swap weapons, you can try new things, you don't have to re-level up a new class from scratch. But we know one of the challenges to that can be having to level up your gear again, taking it from plus 0 to plus 9 or now plus 12. That's something that's challenging. So this new system we're introducing, basically once you level up, let's say your helmet to plus 12, you'll be able to put that into this system and then place another helmet in, and those gears will sync. So your new helmet will automatically get that plus 12 level power, so you don't have to worry about re-leveling it again. You can just slap it in there once you get the piece of gear and start messing around and see, hey, do I like this build better? So we're pretty excited about that as a way to really help players.
That's nice. I mean, I obviously I haven't gotten there in the game yet, but I can see how that will be extremely helpful for when, like, I don't know, maybe you got a weapon from a world boss and you want to use that one, but don't want to necessarily do the grinding to level it up to where it'd be actually beneficial in your loadout. Fucking that would be really nice, so you don't have to go out there and fucking hoard your life over fucking trying to get it all the way back up to fucking max the max level and shit.
Try new gear.
All right. Wow, that's great information.
Yeah.
All right. Can we talk about 3-star dungeons? I know like a lot of our viewers are waiting for this and excited about the new challenges.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many are we getting?
Yeah, we'll start with 3.
Okay.
So you get 3 on the first week, and then on the second week, the final 2 will come out. So there'll be 5 in total, and we'll go 3 and 2 when we first launch.
3-star dungeons, everyone. It sounds quite challenging. So I'm not emotionally ready for that.
Yeah. Well, I've also had to be playtesting them in RQA environments, and it's pretty interesting when you're in there, you're playtesting. Maybe it's not your perfect build that you would normally do, so that's a little bit different. Nice. But probably my favorite part is it very quickly tells me which coworkers I should avoid if I'm trying to progress. Can't have anyone dragging me down in these critical moments. So.
Oh no!
Yeah. So.
Oh wow.
The other good thing about 3-star dungeons is they're going to have those new tokens that I mentioned. They'll have new gear that's dropping, the tier 2 gear from them. And I think, we're trying to balance them a little bit differently this time when we compare them to the 2-star dungeons, so that the 3-star dungeons really feel more accessible to a wider or broader group of players. and then taking some of those more difficult mechanics or kind of those one-shot mechanics that you might see frequently and really bringing those into like the dimensional trials and things like that. So that's an adjustment I would say we're making in terms of the difficulty of the dungeons. We're trying to tweak them a little bit in that fashion.
So solo dungeons, have you seen the designs or have you gotten to play with it?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So the way that they basically work is they're divided into 2 sections, and the first section is kind of like a maze-y puzzle type of situation. Not really a maze, but you're trying to navigate terrain, let's say, while completing some puzzles. And then if you get through that, then you get to fight the boss. And the boss is a solo dungeon boss. And I would say they fall kind of somewhere between a co-op dungeon boss and Tidal Tower boss or Gate of Infinity boss. The difficulty is going to be in between there, with really the goal being, as you said, a way to play solo, kind of stress-free, just relax, don't have to worry about grouping up all the time. But also it's a really great tool for newer players or more inexperienced players to practice mechanics on their own. You know, low pressure environment, they can practice some of the mechanics that they're going to experience when they get into the harder 3-star dungeon content.
Okay, what is the loot? Like, what is the reward I get from solo dungeons?
Yeah, you'll get a variety of rewards like you do in most of our content, different materials and things to help progress in various areas. And then you'll also be able to get some tier 2 weapons out of the solo dungeon.
Sweet.
So people who want, you know, the more powerful weapons, solo dungeon is a good place for that.
Okay, do we know how many times players can like enter into solo dungeons per day?
Yeah, so there's no limit to how many times you can do the dungeon, especially if you're trying to keep practicing or learning. You can do it as many times as you want. But right now we are setting the weekly amount of rewards that you can get to 3 times per week for each set of boss.
So there are bosses in
so
this
that's not
dungeon.
too bad.
Like, are they brand new or are we getting the like same?
It'd be kind of like if we sat there and like broken up our guild raids into like 3 nights, which you know, at least they're giving you an option to like get rewards repeatedly from solo dungeons. That's pretty cool.
Bosses from somewhere else?
Yeah, so these are new bosses, so they'll have new set of mechanics. I've seen a lot of them now, so there'll be new fights, new mechanics for you to have. So, you know, we're not just taking a 3-star dungeon boss and removing mechanics and putting it in the solo dungeon. It's a unique experience that will be for the solo dungeons, which is really great. And there will be 8 total bosses that we have planned right now. 4 of them will come here in March, so we'll have 2 the first week and 2 the next week. So it kind of rotates, you know, similar to Gate of Infinity where you have 2 bosses rotating through, will be the same for solo dungeons. And so the first 4 will arrive in the first 2 weeks. And then we're planning probably sometime in April for the next 4 to arrive.
Okay, that is exciting.
Yeah, it's really great. And I think a lot of our players have been asking for this kind of solo experience, right? Just to have a little bit of break from always needing to be grouped up to complete content. So I think our players are really going to enjoy it.
Oh yeah, and me too. All right, we were talking about PvE, or instance PvE to be exact, but I've heard that there's going to be instance PvP island that is called Nebula Island, I believe.
Yeah, instances may be a little bit misleading. You do teleport there, you know, you don't run there from the open world, you do kind of enter it through the main menu, but once you're inside, you're there with everybody, you know, else that you're kind of with in that areas. And you can go in with a party, and you really should. Most of the zones are 24/7 PvP, so it's a great area to farm, probably the most powerful accessories that you'll be able to get. They are hard to come by, and of course, not only do you have to navigate all the monsters, but the other players. So definitely it's an area where you want to go in with a party. There is one peace zone, so you know, if you're someone that doesn't want to do any PvP, you can still experience the island.
Okay. So they essentially created fucking PK Forest from RuneScape.
In the peace zone, so that is available. It is primarily a PvP hunting ground for sure.
Okay, is there like, it's just PvP all the time? Like, is there anything else you can do?
Yeah, well, so you are going to be farming there, but there are also bosses in Nebula Island. And this is separate from the 4 bosses that are in the Talandre region. So there's another 2 bosses in Nebula. And these fights are actually pretty interesting because you you get into the portal or the area for the boss, and only a certain number of people are allowed in. So somebody actually has to die inside of there for someone else to go in. So there's a lot of battle that's going to be happening outside of it. So it's going to be.
I think that will probably make it a little frustrating. But interesting to fucking see how it plays out. You don't know how you feel about that? I'm on the fence about it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like something interesting to fucking something that's interesting, but at the same time, it sounds like something that could like really I don't know. It could be a really bad turnout on in the long run. It might but I don't know. We'll see. We might end up actually liking that thing the way it goes. But I mean, then again, we'll have to wait till once the game's fully updated. I'll put those PvPers into a dream world. Well,
Really
my god!
All right, that's super interesting. So my guild's been doing daily war games. Like, I don't know, they're pretty hardcore, and I think that Nebula Island is something. It's content that our guild would enjoy. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited for them.
Me too, and I think it's going to be really fun for experiencing some of those new combat changes that we've been working on. Obviously, PvP is one of the areas where you may notice some of that stuff more, like our improved targeting, the removal of the movement speed in combat. So, pretty excited about that. Hopefully some of y'all had a chance to check out a video that we put out a little bit ago showcasing some of those changes, but really even that doesn't do it justice. I think once you get it in your hands, you're just going to be able to feel that difference. And it's a lot of kind of small quality of life changes that really add up to make the experience overall a lot better. So if your guild likes PvP, hopefully they're really going to enjoy those changes too.
Okay, I have a question regarding the combat changes. Are we getting the field of view? FOV, because I need that.
Yeah, so we are allowing camera to zoom out more, about 33% more than you can right now. So it's a decent amount and it feels good. And so I think especially if you're a PvPer that likes to do guild-based content, that kind of larger scale, and you want to be able to see who's flanking you and stuff like that.
That's gonna make it nice, because I like that fucking World of Warcraft was able to, you had that thing where you could see pretty much a good yeah, and I can see it, because oh my god, horrible the way you can only zoom out so far, and I think this will be a game changer. I honestly do.
The zoom out is definitely going to help for that. So that's something that you can really look forward to.
All right, in combat changes, is there any other things you want to mention?
I guess it's not technically combat changes, but we are adding RP walking, which is almost as important as anything else in the game.
It is very important.
Walking.
Oh my god, thank you. I love it.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that, and I think most of our players will be too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, let's take it back to Nebula Island, because I have some questions around the reward
Tell
we
us
can get
about
from
this
the
RP
island.
walk.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck is
well,
that?
the primary thing is going to be the artifact system. So the artifact system is kind of linked to Nebula Island. And so the artifact system is a new progression path for players. It's basically 6 pieces that get formed into this artifact. You have your Talus stones, your lunar stone, and your solar stone. So you're going to compile these, you can create different sets, you're going to get different bonuses from them, so that part's really great. I think the part I like most about the system is that you get a new active ability. So one of those stones will give you new active abilities that you can use. So I always like having another button to press.
Okay, you mean active ability, you mean active skill? It's like a brand new skill we can get?
It's like an extra button you can press, yeah.
Okay, okay, that sounds super cool.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So how do you collect all those stuff? Like you said, Talus stone, Luna stone, and Solar stone. Like, do I need all 3?
Yeah. So you actually need 6. So there will be 4 Talus stone, 1 lunar stone, and 1 solar stone. You can equip them as you get them. You don't need all 6 necessarily, though that will give you those bonuses that we were talking about. And you can get them in Nebula Island, or again, if you don't want to be doing a lot of PvP, you will be able to get all of that stuff from Abyss Dungeons as well in the normal Talandre territory.
Okay, more questions. So now you said there are 6 pieces. Like, do I need all 6 pieces equipped to get like set bonuses and
yeah,
step
so equipping
bonuses?
The pieces will give you bonuses. That's
all
right,
right, good to know. All right, wow, there's so much coming with this expansion. Everyone can look forward to some videos from your favorite creators to guide you through some key parts of the wilds of Talandre. Tico, any last word from you?
No, I'm just really excited. A lot of hard work to get here. I can't wait for our players to get their hands on it. Hell, I can't wait to get my hands on it. It's going to be awesome.
All right. Okay. And don't forget, there is new rewards coming for those of you signed up for Amazon Games ID. If you haven't already signed up, use the link in the description to connect your account. And remember, the Wilds of Talandre expansion launches on March 6th and is
free.
So mark your calendars and get ready for an epic expansion. Thank you so much from both Tico and myself, and I'll see you in Talandre. Bye, everyone.
All right. Hell fucking yeah.